It has been exactly 10 days from the Mumbai attacks, and people have not stopped talking about it or have stopped thinking about questions. They have questions and more questions in their mind, and now they want some answers. Hello and welcome. I'm Ruchi Mukherjee, your Houston correspondent, talking with the younger generation of the Indian American group in Houston. Joining us here this morning is a very diverse group. I'll start with you. What's your name?
Manan Vyas.
What do you do?
I'm an undergrad student at University of Houston.
I'm Praveena Lakshmanan. I work as a copy editor with Indo-American News.
I'm Sanjeev Jaiswal and I'm just a businessman here in Houston.
I'm Angad Madan and I'm an undergraduate at Rice doing Bachelor of Science.
So Sanjeev, what exactly was going through your mind when you heard the news?
The way they did this time was really shocking. It shows that how much confidence they have that Indian government cannot do anything.
I do think they do lack in security, but at some point of time we also need to look at what's actually, what kind of thing are they looking at and what kind of security, are they really equipped for these kind of security? Are the for example, are the NSG commanders trained for this? Have they been, doing this for some time that they kind of fight?
So what exactly, now going to the topic, is the future of India?
After seeing the blast, I see the reason why it happened, and the exact reason why it happened was India has failed miserably to address the threat of radical Islamic extremism, whereas the US was successful, as Sanjeev was saying. After 9/11, security was tightened, intelligence was expanded, whereas in India, all of these madrasas that are giving propaganda and funding to the groups are flourishing under the Indian government. Media doesn't say anything. Media doesn't report anything informative, in fact. And I think the lack of awareness of what's the real issue at hand, and where this radical Islamic extremism is coming from. We have to address that.
As I'm talking, I am seeing that there is a lot of concern for the motherland and for India and even people living in India. So the next question comes, is our politicians or our government or the people we have protecting our country, are they good enough?
Clearly, they haven't acted the way they should for the Mumbai attack. They haven't done what needed to be done. The statements that needed to be publicly made were not done at the right time. So the government has not done enough, and they definitely need to step up their game and really get out there and do more. I don't see that happening at this point, but I do see the public awareness increasing. I see the public coming out on the streets, and hopefully that will bring out our politicians, and we should be able to see some change because of the public.
It's not fair to always blame the politicians, because we have elected these politicians. So somewhere the common man also is very much responsible, because I think I was reading an article online and someone addresses the emotions of what happens like after these attacks are taking place, what happens in a common man's mind. So I think people get too busy into their own daily routine and daily life that they forget these things very fast, and for which the other people take advantage, because they see, oh, people have forgotten, nothing's going to happen, and we just keep saying that our Indian government should do something, Indian government should do something. They can also do only so much. So I think common man also has to participate into this, and of course we should not support those kind of politicians at all who are, if not supporting, then they are not doing anything against it. Like we have seen in other countries where these kind of attacks has happened, each and every country has got at least some type of anti-terror law. To this date, in India, we don't have any anti-terror law. And I think there was a POTA which was implemented, then again it was removed by some politicians. So we should have strong rules and regulations against these terror attacks, because we should make a statement then to any terrorist that they cannot get away from our system. They cannot take advantage of our system.
What are your expectations from media? What would you like to see more happening from the media side?
Well, I would like to see an independent voice. There's no independent voice. The media is always saying that we in India, we have to make closer relations, we have to be more friendly with Pakistan. But how can you be friendly with a country that's harboring terrorists? And how can you do that? So the media has not been reporting the reality but rather it's been giving some perception that we can work with a country that's actively supporting the terrorism.
Can this be solved? Is there a solution for it? And what is the future of terrorism?
At this point, it's really hard to predict any kind of a future in India because other than all the great things happen in India, we cannot ignore this fact of terror, that this insecurity right now that we have in the citizens of India, that it can happen anywhere. So people are so insecure. Before we saw that it was just happening in Kashmir, then in Punjab, now it's happening in Bangalore, Jaipur, even small cities like Banaras and different places like Bombay. So right now I don't think that people in India are very secured, and if the citizen of a certain country are not secured, then we don't think that we are giving any kind of assurance about the future of India. I don't think there is a way for these terrorists to stop just by talking to them. We have already seen that. We have tried India has tried all the possible means to be as friendly and as accommodating with Pakistan, who is harboring these terrorists. So we need to now give them a harsh and a more hard hit back to these terrorists, so that there's no other way, it seems like, that these people can understand. I mean, like, how can you talk to a person who is ready to kill himself and kill 100 other innocent people on the street? So they are not in the right state of the mind when they are doing these kind of things. And we cannot say that at the same time that these are the misguided people. We see that these people come from the different background. Very intellectual people are also involved into such acts, which sometimes surprises us. So these people, they are very focused on what they're doing, very determined on what they're doing. So, and we need to break that determination only by replying them in the way that they can only understand. So I think we should not take it easy, or we should not be having any kind of compassion basically towards these terrorists, because it only promotes rather than it ends to a terror.
Do you all feel that the biggest problem which India has, or sometimes Pakistan has, is because we do not follow the policy of live and let live?
India has been the place where many people have seeken refuge. The Jews came from Israel, from the Roman Empire. They were persecuted. Parsis came, Muslim community came, they were being persecuted. Even let me just say that the former president of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he has been strongly against the radical Islamic terrorism, and he himself is a practicing Muslim. And his view, he thinks these people have perverted the religion.
Yes, India is very tolerant. That's why there are so many people. And as a matter of fact, there are more than 25 million Muslims in India. It's like more than they are in Pakistan or any other country. So it's not that the people in India are not tolerant. It's about how much tolerance has to be accepted from the other side also.
I completely agree with what Angad and Sanjeev has to say, and I think India has really been tolerant to such kind of things that's been happening from a long time, and I'm sure that it will be too, but at the same time it needs to kind of protect itself from what's happening.
I think India has always been tolerant from the very beginning. Back in 1893, when Swami Vivekananda came to the United States and gave a speech in Chicago, his basic message was on tolerance and world peace. Overall, that has always been something that India has given out to this world, and it will continue no matter what. This is not going to stop us from being who we really are.
Well, my guests out here today do agree that India is tolerant and they have the policy of live and let live. But however, they are concerned and there are constantly questions in their mind that the government needs to take some stronger steps. With that, I conclude. Thank you for being with us on this edition of Talking Points. See you next time.